Hello, good afternoon everybody. So what I'm going to do today is the required practical for the electricity topic, or at least one of the required practicals for it. And today I'm going to talk about resistance in a wire. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure the resistance in a wire when we change the length of the wire. So we're going to see how the length of a wire affects the resistance that goes through that circuit. So the setup that I've got is this. So I've got my power supply that I'm setting on a very low voltage with this. Okay, so I've got, I'm only going to have 3 amps running through it. In fact, actually, I'm going to whack it up to 4. So 4 amps running through it. I've then got my main circuit set up. So my main circuit is my nichrome wire, which is a very, very thin piece of wire that is attached to a ruler. It's attached to a ruler, so I can very, very, very clearly and accurately measure the length on this, okay? I've then got my ammeter set up, so I'm going to be recording the current in the circuit. Now this ammeter is set up in series because, as you know, the ammeter needs to record the current, and so therefore it needs that whole flow of the electrons flowing through the circuit, okay? So that is my main part of it, but in order to calculate resistance, we don't just need current, we also need something else. What is that other measurement? That other measurement, as I'm sure you have guessed, is of course the potential difference. Now the potential difference needs to be read by the voltmeter, and as you know, we need to set up the voltmeter in parallel to whatever the component is that we're looking at. In this case, we're looking at the wire. So we need to set it up in parallel because we're measuring the energy at the start of the wire and then the energy at the end, so we're looking at the difference between those two. So I've got this all set up, the voltmeter and ammeter ready to go. So we're going to start with 5 centimetres first of all of the nichrome wire. So we now switch it on and we have the power going through the circuit. Now I'm not sure how well you can see this, but I'm just going to get the camera a little bit closer to the nichrome wire and I want you to watch it glow. Here we go. Okay, our ammeter is 6.5 and our voltmeter was reading 1.6. Okay. Now, what I want you to have a little bit of a think about is why you think that nichrome wire started to glow. Right, so all I'm going to do then, I've switched this off. Obviously this is going to get very hot, so you don't touch the wire during this, and I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. So now we're going to have 10 centimetres of nichrome wire. I'd like you to have a think what you think is now going to happen. So what you think the effect might be. So we're going to put it back on. Here we go. And our ammeter is, oh, now reading nothing. Hang on a second. I think it's a bit upset with life. Bear with me. Oh, there it was. Okay, so our ammeter is now reading 4.38 and our voltmeter is reading 2.11. If you look closely at the nichrome wire here, it is not glowing. I want you to have a little bit of a think about why it glowed before but not now. So we're going to keep doing this, and we're going to keep increasing it by 5 centimetres each time. Once we've got to the end of those 5 centimetres each time, we're then going to do some resistance calculations. Okay, so very quickly with this is now at 15 centimetres, so the ammeter is 3.45 and the voltmeter is 2.33. We switch it off. Have a think about why I'm switching it off each time. We're now going to 20 centimetres of nichrome wire. And our ammeter, hang on, this is not happy. Okay, our ammeter is now reading 2.63 and our voltmeter is reading 2.49. And we're going to move on now to 25 centimetres. Our ammeter is reading 2.33 and our voltmeter is reading 2.58. 30 centimetres, our ammeter is reading 1.97 and our voltmeter is reading 2.64. Have a think about these values as we're going along, and we'll do a final one because it won't stretch any further of 35 centimetres. Our ammeter is not reading anything because it's not connected properly. Hang on. Come on, work for me. Okay, our ammeter is now reading 1.74 and our voltmeter is reading 2.71. Okay, so now you have all of those readings, we're now going to do some resistance calculations.